Najee Harris or Breece Hall?
Ooh,
Okay.
it's not bad. I guess I'll go first in this one.
Hold on, let
Okay,
me pull up
Taking
the.
Breece Hall.
nice
Taking
one.
Breece Hall for sure.
Really?
Because I mean, you look at the Jets' offensive line, way better than the Steelers' offensive line, and then you just look at the offense in general. I think that offense is a lot safer than the Steelers' offense. I think any running back paired up with Aaron Rodgers is a lot safer than any running back paired up with Kenny Pickett. I mean, you look at guys like Aaron Jones when they had Aaron Rodgers. He was a top 10 running back every year with Aaron Rodgers that he was a starter. So I really don't think you can go wrong with Brees Hall being that he's as talented as he is.
So I think that maybe Breece Hall is not going to be as big a factor as we thought. He was sort of clunky, and I know he was hurt a little bit last year, but his performance was on the clunky side. And they do have some competent guys behind him with Michael Carter, Zonovan Knight, and the guy from Pitt, Abba
Yeah,
Wakanda,
it was
Wakanda Forever.
is yeah, Izzy Abanikanda, who actually had like the NCAA lead last year for touchdowns. So the dude is legit, even though he was a late rounder.
They added him, so I mean, I think, and there's a possibility if Hall's not actually 100%, in the early part of the season, which is definitely in the realm of possibilities. I
Yeah,
think that I actually in this, if I'm in a draft, it's Hall versus Najee. I think I'm taking Najee.
yeah. So I would agree with Najee. The only concern I have, and this is probably the worst it can end up, is that Jalen Warren, who is super underrated, comes up, and we get like a kind of Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard situation where you get this one guy who's like the starter and really good, but you have like the underrated smaller guy who's actually outperforming him. But I think even with Najee's down year, it was still a great year. He still had, I think, 900 some rushing yards, touchdowns. I mean, obviously he was under a horrendous offensive line, but what gives me hope is you look at the latter half of the Steelers season and their offensive line and their run game got progressively better. It was like in the top five towards the latter half of the season. So I think you look at their offensive line acquisitions. I think they just got Dylan Cook for depth from the Buccaneers, and obviously you get Broderick Jones on the draft. They got the one guy from the Eagles, Osimo or something, and he's looking really good. I know some Phillies fans who were upset when he went. So I think if the Steelers' offensive line core manages to stay healthy, and this is probably my hot take, I think we could probably be saying that Najee Harris is the best running back in the NFL after this season. If everything goes well, I think he has that potential. I think he realized how much he was playing horizontal across the field rather than vertical. And I really think if he puts in that work like he has been, he's known as one of the most hardworking and good work ethic characters in the NFL. If he can really maximize on his game, I think that the sky is the limit for him.
I'm gonna
I
have to
think that,
disagree with that, man. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Like, as only non-Steelers fan here, like I don't know. Every time I see Najee, he just doesn't look very explosive. He looks like he has cement in his shoes. He has cinder blocks on his feet. And
well,
even last
wasn't
year,
some of that was him playing through the Liz Frank though.
yeah, some of that was, but I don't think he's talented enough. Even coming out of college, you need elite talent. You need elite talent to be a top running back in the league. And even coming out of Alabama, he just uh, wherever he came from, I don't even remember if it was Alabama or not. No, okay, so yeah, yeah, but you need elite running back talent to be like one of the top running backs, and that's not always the case when you have guys like Austin Eckler. But for the most part, to be the one or two running back, you're gonna need to have elite, college tape or whatever. So I think another thing is you mentioned T.J. Warren. If you look at the passing snaps from last year, T.J. Warren was on the rise like a lot. I even picked him up on my team as bench depth last year, and
Sure.
I don't think you can say that Najee is going to be a top three running back, even top five running back when he's going to have so little passing down work because TJ Warren's going to be eating most of that, and he already was eating that most of that last year already. So
I was gonna say, well, clearly he's not that important. If you can't even get his name right, it's not T.J. Warren, it's Jalen Warren. So maybe
I was thinking of the Pacers player.
nice. He mixed up sports.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think you can be a top five running back with most of your passing work getting taken. And that's not to say that you can't be a top five running back with your passing work. It's still like Derrick Henry. But
Well,
Najee Harris is no Derrick Henry.
He got a lot of passes his way. Jalen Warren's ascension and breakout was necessary because of Najee working through the injury, but typically Tomlin sticks to a one back, backfield. But if Warren is legit, and I guess we will find out, and maybe it will be something that they'll do like a platoon, or like you mentioned, they'll do something like the Cowboys did.
Yeah,
In a worst case scenario for fantasy, it sounds great for real football, but